smooth transition. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Leaked. My voice broke. It leagued from outer space. Final Fantasy Randomizer's Fall League for 2023. I am Dark Moon EX, trying to get control of my voice. With me in the booth tonight is Shoom Bobby. Hey there, Shoom.
Hi, Dark Moon. I'm Shoom Bobby, and I also don't have control of my voice, but I'm gonna do my best to control it tonight.
Yeah, it's a great night for the two of us to hack and cough our way through the broadcast, isn't it?
I'll enjoy it. I don't know if everyone else listening will.
So this is week one of Fall League. This is our interesting flags. I love these flags, I'm going to be honest with you. They're not that far off from what I play in AP, aside from there's no proc gen here. But the basic twist of it, quote unquote, is that there's nothing in magic shops. Magic shops you literally can't even walk into. No doors, so no magic. All the magic you're going to get is on weapons, because every single weapon in the game casts magic. Now, it's going to be from the selected pool, so you don't get the really crappy stuff, but you also don't get the really good stuff. No Cure 4, no Nuke, whatever, but it's fun. I like this flag set.
Yeah, there's enough for everybody to do. What I think I certainly didn't realize going into it is just how much we take advantage of on a normal flag set, of having that diversity of spells to cast. Like, even if we were limited to low-level spells, we still want more than 4 per caster. And on top of that, you're now taking up your melee slots to have to use them for buffing and curing and things of that nature. So it's a very interesting twist on the original design. But this week's flags also lend themselves to being fairly quick. So it's an interesting dichotomy, because you feel like it wouldn't be with that kind of restriction on you. But everyone seems to be making do quite well.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like, sub-hour is possible on these flags, just because of how fast you're going. It's Shard Hunt, but you're going to be opening up boxes anyway, because you want all the weapons you can get that's going to cast the magic you want, up to a point. So, like, Shard Hunt with this works perfectly. But because it's Shard Hunt, you're, like, sitting there going, I just need to get to enough dungeons to get my shards, and then get the end game and just go, which in some ways tends to feel faster than, like, actual orb collecting.
I think we're going to find that most of our runners hit at least 3 Fiend dungeons, if not all 4 of them. Even though they're not all incentivized.
Oh, for sure. Volcano isn't, like, incentivized in this flag set, but that doesn't stop me from going to it most of the time when I was practicing and playing, because Volcano's fairly chest dense and not that hard to get through. And then you kill Carry at the end, you got 2 shards. Like a flag set like this, even without there being a key item in there, you gotta balance the value, and sometimes if you're in the area, Volcano's just valuable.
The problem, and now that we're out of the week, I can share at least our team strat on this one, is it's a very easy bait to go to Volcano when you have a canoe, if that shows up early, and a lot of this does show up as inner sea progression.
Oh, for sure.
So we try to balance, like, are you really opening boxes, or do you want to just go out and explore and get your key items? Because everybody else is going to be doing that too.
So looking at it right now, you'll see that we immediately head to the weapon shops, because, of course, the usual thing of going to the magic shops is just not going to apply here. Fire 2, Harm 2, something Zap. I think I'd probably pick up a couple of the Fire 2s, depending upon what I already have in my inventory, and then just rock that quickly, because, yeah.
Yeah, the Fire 2s are nice early on, but you'll see Chanagan and Goat's Pirate both took White Mages, which allows them for that Harm 2 to get past any elemental resistances. So we'll see if they go back and buy that.
I didn't see what the blessings were. I don't know why they took a White Mage specifically, if that was just because they wanted the White Magic. I mean, there's no real benefit from one mage over another in this flag set, just the way they are.
I think the White Mage scales MDef a little bit better, and at least for us, it was always about the harm, right? Like, if you get an early harm item, you now have an extra caster slot.
That's fair. I usually just went Red Mage because they got better health growth if I needed something to stay alive, you know?
Yep, that is something with this particular seed. They have legendary weapons too, so you might find some Red Mages swinging some pretty beefy swords early on.
I missed what Chanagan got from the Royals, so it was a little blurry here. Slab and...
Herb, it looks like?
Herb. Okay, so with Canal around, I think Extended Open is on. I think Extended Open is on. If I'm already starting to forget this flag set. We should be able to eventually walk over to the Elves, but I'm assuming we'll see the ship soon.
Did anyone speak to the hint giver in Canaria?
I didn't see it.
Yeah,
no one went that far up north.
I didn't catch it if they had.
I mean,
That
you know
is
me.
unfortunate.
There's the bottle from the pirates. You know me. I am pro skipping all the hint givers because it spends time talking to people that may or may not give you anything valuable.
Yeah, but for the 3 seconds that you spend in talking to them, you could get a lot of insight as to where your next key item is. And so if you have one of those gamble spots of like, do I have to go in the river system to go to Crescent, or should I go back to Matoya? And if you know one of them has it, it's definitely a big help. There's that harm 3.
Yeah, harm 3, lock plus 5 dagger I saw as well. I mean, the lock itself is fine. You want a little of that maybe for the end game, but the plus 5 on the dagger, depending upon the dagger, might actually get you some damage right now if you don't have anything better. That's something I had to deal with in my game this week when my fighter could only carry thief swords, and that kind of sucked.
Yeah, they're just meat shields anyway. So we have that the herb takes us to the ship, and we also saw that Sarda has the cube. So that's, again, one of those places, right, where the hint comes in really big time, because now you know, even if you get an early ruby, I'm not doing that walk over to Sarda. It would be useless until I have a... Well, it's not useless, I guess. There is the possibility the floater is still in Sky, but it's not mandatory for me to go to Sarda before I check other things. Got a 3-minute bridge boss over there.
Yeah, I think Microboot was having some issues with Garland fight, and it just took him a little while to get going.
It unfortunately happens, but it's still early enough that anyone can make up lost time here.
They're fast flags, so a slow start can feel painful, but at the same time, you never know if someone's going to hit something nasty in Marsh Cave or something else. Like, we're low level right now. I wouldn't expect those people going to Marsh Cave are going to be much more than 5 or 6 unless they really start grinding out some fights here on the overworld. And Marsh Cave at level 5 or level 6 can feel punishing.
I know we're going to be hoping for a really quick canal in Marsh Top, because the only other alternative is a fetch quest or a canoe. And neither one of those sound entertaining.
And that is something to point out. Marsh is randomized, so you don't even know where the item is going to be.
But we know that we have to go there because it's literally our only location left.
Only location, well, aside from turning in the herb.
But we knew that the herb was the ship.
Yep.
So I guess Chanagan's going to give us some insight as to what's in Marsh Top.
I always check this first. Hope springs eternal that you don't have to walk down to bottom. Oh, and frost.
Yikes.
That's not fun. What I say about Marsh Cave?
Even in the case where you don't get what you want in Marsh Top, it makes it really easy to convince yourself to just reset out. Except with that XP bonus. Maybe you want the frost zombies to murder you then. Get that save on game over.
Yeah, it's one of those situations
dancing in the swamp.
I mean, gold and EXP are great this early game, but I think that I'd be willing to reset out unless it's something massive. Now, the Cake plus 5 axe, depending upon what axe that is. I didn't see the stats on it, but could be good. Ooh, the one I have struggle parting with is that shard. Now I'm with you. Let's hope the zombies kill us so we can reset back to the start. Microboot's making his way down. He's actually caught up a little bit of time here from the looks of it.
Yeah, this is fairly standard early game stuff. I don't think we're going to see too much of a split within plus 1 or 2 minutes, maybe.
And Ozlodo is going back for some items, so he's getting his work done right now. That Harm 3 sword you see right there is doing work from that White Mage.
And bonus, the dangerous packs here would all go down to harm regardless of who casts it.
Mm-hmm. So far. I mean, we haven't seen what the Danny spiders are going to do yet. Always the danger of the Danny spiders. But yeah, Harm 3 doing a lot of work here. Chanagan's just mowing through those zombie packs.
And it's unfortunate because that's a lot of battle time that you don't really want, but you also don't want to waste it dying and coming back in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the balance of, do I waste 15 seconds here now, or do I have to do like another 2-3 minutes to get back to where I am?
So we have the TNT. There's the start of our fetch questing.
But you're here, so you're going to check the other chests. I mean, you gotta.
Shuffled trap tiles. Nothing really major here with that Earth.
Mm-hmm. Another shard would be nice to be able to get through this and actually feel like you earned it.
See, I think I'd be looking forward most to a decent weapon, right? Like if you gave me an endgame weapon now I know I don't have to be digging out obscure locations. Bat's always getting in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Brattonwood taking naps.
I'll channel my inner Phoenix for a second and be like, they certainly drive you batty. Yes, I know.
Yep.
I blame him for this.
That is one of the jokes of all time.
Mm-hmm. Phoenix, our resident pun master, who forces us all to deal with what he does.
We welcome it with open arms.
That's a word for it. Ozlodo not bothering to exit out and going straight down to the bottom from the top. I mean, it's save on game over. I guess that's fair. That's not the normal maneuver.
Yeah, it feels awkward because save on game over does kind of throw you out of your traditional pathing through dungeons a bit. And then looking forward, starting tomorrow, right? We have week 2, also save on game over, but that one with Dragon Warrior mode on, and so that's going to be wild times to gauge where you want to take that death.
Right. Better if you have the floater, because you'll reset back to the floater, or the airship, but still, that's oof. Floato got their TNT, Goat's Pirate has their TNT, did the turn in, looks like they got the crystal for it, so back to Matoya, because you're right here. That's just a long, lovely fetch quest right there.
Did we see this weapon shop before? Did anyone go into Elfland?
Didn't recall them to actually going Elfland. They all went straight to March Cave.
Right, so we have Tempers and Invis 2 in Elfland.
That's lovely. I would buy a round of those.
It's so hard to judge that, because then you just fill up your inventory, right? We have 6 slots now that could be replaced with better spells, and then you're going to try to convince yourself, but I don't want to get rid of these. And then it just creates this whole, second guessing.
Nope, not for me.
You're just going to keep them the whole time?
Perfectly happy with my Tempers and my Invises. I'm just going to keep them the whole time and not worry about the other spells again. At a certain point, I'm just running from everything anyway. I'm not worried about it. Right, Crystal becomes...
Still don't know, because Goats didn't actually get the ship first, so he's coming back around. Gonna go straight up, probably. Buying some Invis and Tempers himself.
Shanigan's walking to the
dock, I imagine.
The dock, yeah. Walk in and dock in. There we go. Yeah, that's the faster way to do it is with the ship, for sure, because of the speedboat being on.
Bets on Adamant?
That would be amazing. I would love that. Adamant into Chime just to, make you feel that much worse?
Can't be a Chime at that point. It would be nice, but we don't have a canal or any other way of getting to another incentive location.
Does it start with canal? They're marked off.
Did they get a canal from Sarah or something?
Nope. Apparently it's canal. Okay.
There we go.
Okay,
now we
so
have
we didn't have canal until just now, so there we go.
Right.
So Chanigan has the canal, and we're waiting on the others to get that. Our tracker is keeping up. There we go. Perfect! I can't blame him for that. So often we have canal turned on by default, so...
Thanks, SGL. Or, I have no idea, were those even part of the flags?
Can't remember anymore. I didn't play in that tournament, so it's fine. Ship for life reboot.
Alright, so now the question is, do we go to Melmond and check out... We don't have a rod, so we'll check a hint giver maybe, and turn in the slab. But we don't have any way of getting the incentive here, so it's going to have to go down to Crescent.
And I couldn't read the hint that Chanigan saw, but oh look, fast
Someone
swords.
had a loot.
Someone
knows where the loot is.
Fast swords, so...
Fast Temper and Invis, we're good.
Strategically, I'd have 2 fasts on me, 3 tempers, and at least 1 Invis 2. And that would be my weapon loadout that I would just pick up as I go. and not worry about things at that point. Yes, it takes up 6 of my slots that I might want other spells for, but I want those spells first and foremost, and as fast as these flags are, I'm planning my end game at the start of the game.
Oh, definitely should be planning that, and it was brought up in chat before that that Quake Axe +5 is a viable end game weapon at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So the only point I might push back a little on is getting 3 tempers out, because you're still going to want somebody actually swinging that axe. So,
well, I have it on me just in case because I've had enough, even like with only 2 bosses that you have to fight in the final dungeon before you get to Chaos. I have had it where they both just die, and then the only temper I have is what's on my one character. So, safety.
Makes sense. So now we have a canoe.
Yeah.
And you don't go back Inner Sea, right? You go to Ordeals and Waterfall from here, but you know that Waterfall has the loot. It makes it a very hard sell to go to Waterfall.
Well, your teammate and co-op partner and I are of similar opinion on this. Always bet on Ordeals. So
yes, I think Ordeals has to be the play here. Nobody wants to go to Ice Cave this early without warp.
No. You go, or Chanigan does.
Well, very close to the dock, so there he goes.
Always bet on Ordeals, Chanigan. You're going to prove us wrong, I'm sure, but always bet on Ordeals.
This is interesting to me, just based on our practices and how much we seem to have loathed being in the Inner Sea. Because this river system, right? Like, maybe ice is definitely incentivized, and maybe ice holds something valuable, but you're always hoping that you can get to it by the floater. Otherwise, it's 30 seconds of walking that you just don't want to introduce. When these games really do come down to that.
I was going to say, if Chanigan didn't save outside of Ice Cave and, decided to canoe all the way over, go in, do the full exploration, see if there's anything worthwhile there, and if, there wasn't, say it's the Vorpal in here and he doesn't care about that as the incentivized item, reset back to the start of the river system and then sail off to Ordeals, I could kinda see it, but he saved her outside the cave, so he's pot committed to this.
Yeah, this encounter table doesn't lend itself very well to that.
Oh, no, I absolutely agree with you on that, but far be it from me to stop someone from making a really big and dumb gamble.
So Goats is doing the same thing. I think this is strictly proximity overriding their instincts to go to Ordeals. I think they all want to go to Ordeals. But
yeah. I think I even went to Ice Cave when I was in a position like this, because I was like, well, I'll just do Volcano while I'm here and get it over with. And I agree. But even then, the whole time in the back of my head, I heard the voice saying, go to Ordeals. Go. And then I think Ordeals had floaters, so I should have gone to Ordeals.
Well, 6 of one, half dozen of another. But I would be upset if he did go to Volcano at this point, if any of our runners went to Volcano at this point, because you know that there's got to be the floater or a chain that leads there from Ordeals at this point.
Yeah.
If it's not in Ice Cave, it's got to be somewhere that you can access that has an incentive item. And Volcano, yes, it'll have shards for you, but you're not trying to take levels at 15 minutes anyway.
I mean, if you play poorly, you are, which I usually do.
Yeah, even when you play poorly, you're just hoping that run works enough.
I think I was level 15 or 16 already when I got into Volcano around the 20-minute mark on Tuesday, is when I played. So my levels were fine for taking out carry is what I had with those, tempers and fasts that I was carrying around on me that we've been discussing.
Right.
Oh, that worked out well for me, but no, I don't debate the points that you're making. Ice Play is it's a gamble. Chanigan is still getting sent back to it, so he's had to reset twice. You gotta think you'd be through Ordeals at this point with, just how it is. And the game really does, I don't know whether or not it means to do this, but the game really does favor Ordeals at this position and placement for items.
Typically, I do agree with you on that one. Just want to point out, in case we miss it or in case he forgets to tell us, Life Reboot currently does have the copper, the gold, and the silver bracelet, so...
Perfect.
That is our bonus objective for the night, and as long as he keeps it, and I don't imagine that he'll be throwing that out.
For those not keeping up, Fall League does have a bonus point system. 1 point awarded for one of our weird and fun little things that you can do, based primarily on our Springo Bingo tiles. Today's was Bling Hunter, which, as Bobby pointed out, is copper, silver, and gold bracelets that you have to keep in your inventory. We were kind, and we didn't force you to also get the opal, although I was tempted to. Saberbonk is nice in Ice Cave. Not sure it's enough on its own with the temper to come here, but Saberbonk.
See, I'd much rather waste a turn on Saberbonk over the Temper. Right? Doesn't it give you a slight bit more of an edge?
I think it's 2 points more on damage and a slight boost to your accuracy, but you're talking 14 versus 16 or something like that between Temper and Saber, so...
Hey, that's 14% more. How can you argue with that?
Okay, Mr. Math.
Twitch
I would
math.
argue with Professor Math. I'm sorry, I did not mean to discount your degree. For speed, I'd be sitting there going, well, I guess this is nice, but I already have the Temper, so if I hadn't got it, I wouldn't have cared.
It's nice for the Absorb also.
Yeah. It is a good bracer, that's for sure. Crown. Don't go to the last chest.
Oh,
just
yikes.
leave. Yeah, there you go. So, guess we're going back to Astos.
Are we, or are we going to Ordeals? I mean, we know Astos is a thing, but
Okay.
which way do we actually go on the boat? I guess you go to Astos first, right, and then south to Ordeals.
Yeah, you do. I mean, you spent this long in here. You're at 18 minutes in. You only have 2 shards. You got to feel the pressure and be like, well, I committed myself to this move early. I need to follow it through to see if I'm ahead or behind now.
I'm
Even
not
though
sure the shard
everyone's
count
doing it.
is so big right now because we haven't been to a very chest-dense location.
True.
I mean, our runners are going to Sky. Like, that's going to be where we get our shards, Sky and Sea, because you have to be at Mermaids.
So Life Reboot absolutely has to be doing the chest dense shard proximity play, because there's no other reason to come to Volcano besides looking for shards.
And as you were saying, the Invis 2 and the Tempers early on, we could get through carry here.
Could get through carry. If you get those, if you have enough Invis 2s that you can get your 3 casts off, or even 2 off at the start. Silver bracelets are +4. But yeah, get your casts off early. Then I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. He's found experience. He's found a couple shards, a quad X stick, a saber stick. I mean, it's a nice treasury for sure.
Is it enough to compensate for progression, though? That's
Yeah,
always, I don't know that 3 or 4 shards even is enough for me to say that's progression.
We haven't seen Brack in shops yet that I know of. If he's the only one that comes here to Volcano, and if he's the only one that finds that Brack sword, which is actually also not a terrible endgame sword, that could give him an advantage. Just because, Kraken and Tiamat and Brack.
It is strong. Chanagan going to Sarda. We know that Sarda has the loot. I'm curious if he forgets that that's a thing.
If he even checked the hit giver.
He did. He's the one who I read, actually, at moment.
Perfect. I know I saw a couple people check the hint giver eventually. I just couldn't remember.
Oh, no, it was Sarda with the cube. Sorry, you're right. Sarda was with the cube.
Cube. I remember you said loot, and I wasn't going to question you, but I could have sworn you said cube earlier.
I did say cube earlier.
You did. That's fine. I didn't say anything against you. I was just going to roll with it.
You know what it really is that he has the fun % flag for the loot, and I saw double base, and that just ruined me. So, sure, why not just form a loot in the shape of a cube?
I cannot play with those flags on the Titan food and the various instruments. I love them. I think they're great. My dyslexic brain gets confused, and I can't use them.
Yeah, your Ninja Turtles are enough.
Yeah, no, they're great. They give me all the flavor I need. Okay, we are in Ordeals. Goats Pirate has decided you always bet on Ordeals.
We'll see if Agamothlor has anything.
1? Wow, that was like 3 pillars and he was out. That was the fast path through here.
Oof, this is really the good play then.
Mm-hmm.
Another Brack item.
Well, the second Brack item kind of downplays... Oh, Life Reboot got it. Okay, that actually makes it even better for him. And seeing the stats on those items, he is unlikely to... they're unlikely to be in shops, is my point. So...
Right.
Yeah. Not saying another item couldn't roll Brack, but we're starting to run through the pool at this point.
By the time we get to a fiend that's going to really need us to have Brack, it's looking like these runners are going to be leveled enough-ish.
Sure. But there is always the possibility that he gets it first turn, and you don't have to spend 2 or 3 turns meleeing them down. It's Brack. It's 25%, which means it happens all the time or none of the time, but it's possible.
So Chanigan just gambled on checking the on-rack shop, but didn't check the caravan for the shop item.
Ooh.
So took a quick reset back to our deals. Going to find that adamant. Going to be sent back north. Boy, is everyone's face going to be red if the caravan is selling the floater.
Chanigan is playing very interestingly and varied in his approach right now. He's one of our faster runners. He's definitely faster than I am. Of course, you are faster than I am. But he's one of our faster runners, and it's interesting.
What was that supposed to mean?
No. I mean it like a dig against myself, not against you. I didn't want to downplay your own skills by just saying
my heart.
It's a good one.
Taken you 22 minutes to just break me.
I meant it more like I didn't want to make you feel bad that I wasn't acknowledging your skill as well. But no, Chanigan's one of our good runners, and the gambles he's making they feel out of play for him. I wonder if he's practiced enough and he feels this is a good strategy, or whether or not he's gotten in his own head.
They strike me as differentiating plays, right? Like checking a few things that he doesn't think the opponents are going to do here, which is out of character for him. He typically is a very, let me just play it safe and beat you on execution.
Yeah, and Life Reboot's getting down to carry. Didn't check all the chests everywhere, skipped the hairpins, skipped the red D chest here. Seems like they're very focused on, let's just hit the chest and stuff, get some shards and some good gear. Level 14 and 12, not bad levels for this point of the game, 23 minutes in. I think this was all about just trying to get an edge on shards and gear so that he can go into the mid-game better. Which isn't necessarily bad. And having the Red Mage swing, Red Mage must be able to use legendary swords.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there's the X-Cal. I saw the yellow blur, so...
Could be a sun sword, right?
Oh wait, no, it's blue now. Oh, it's the view I have is blurry, so forgive me if I saw the wrong color, because it's blurry. But whatever it was, he killed it quick, so...
So, Goat's Pirate first in the air. Chanigan shouldn't be far behind. Got that adamant. Oslodo has the adamant. Not going to be far.
At Gaia. Okay.
Right, so floater required, I think, because, I guess there could still be a dud on Earth 4. But an early tail from that bottle. That's very nice. Everyone's going to be promoting instantly.
You aren't wrong. In the game I played on Tuesday, the Earth item was a Vorpal. So there's still a possibility a ribbon or a Vorpal could end up in Earth here. And that would absolutely mean that you didn't need to go there, even though the game is kind of pointing you there. The game points badly sometimes, is one thing.
We still want that thief to have a weapon, and just knowing, even a Vorpal, is something.
You can get through the game with a saber. I did it. Come on.
Finding out also Lefane is required. So we have that slab already turned in. They have the key.
Well, yeah, then you do need to be up in the air. That floater is definitely required then. Whether or not the fairy turns out to be anything.
Chime has to now be in Canaria Locked or Earth Cave, I think.
Fairy had tail. I don't know if you mentioned that, but that's, not required essential, but feels required, especially if you find a good weapon. Although with the Red Mage being able to swing anything he wants, and enough fast and temper, we're back to the idea of, do you really need a class change?
So the Red Mage being able to swing and the Red Mage being a good melee fighter is two different statements.
I agree. But again,
you're really unfortunate to have an X-Cal and 3 hits.
With enough temper and fast, you can get through anything if you have to. So, if you really want to shave time, you could go Red Mage with the Vorpal or whatever the heck it is that he's swinging, which I can't see. And don't ask us to look at the weapon names, because it's not going to tell us anything.
Yeah, that makes it very difficult that we don't catch it on the item pickup information.
Right? What stats were those? I don't know. Whatever.
So Goat's interestingly checking Earth 1 and having gone to Earth. It seems without promotion and with the free checks that you would get in Cardia taking the same time. Finding an eye tile, which is going to be useful-ish, I guess, if you want some levels, but
yeah,
this isn't really the flag set for it.
No, it's not. I learned that in my practices. I learned after the fact when I watched everyone else on the race that I was in not go and do Earth 1 that I probably didn't need to go and do Earth 1. My gremlin brain of needing to check every chest, because it's shard hunt, probably needed to not check those chests. But I mean, if you are looking for a quick grind, if you feel like you don't have the levels to survive like Sea or Sky, you could fight 2 or 3 eyes. I think he just took the 1 because he accidentally stepped on it, and it wasn't bad to see. It's free experience. Eyes aren't hard normally.
No, it's just that you have 5 boxes that are slightly out of the way.
Yeah,
and I think that gives enough time for Chanigan and Osloto to kind of catch up a bit, right?
Yeah. What is it? Like you spent if you get ideal walking, it's about 1:30 to check all the chests, even with resetting back to the entrance. It's in a flag set where people finish in like 53, 57, 55 minutes. That minute and a half is a lot that you're wasting because we're talking that's more than a bucket.
Right. It's the difference between first place points and second place points.
Yep. For those not paying attention or who are just joining us or haven't seen Fall League before, the system we use for scoring is based on timing buckets. It's 1 minute for first place, 2 minutes for second place, 4 minutes for third, etc. up to like 16 is fifth place, and then everything above that point at that point is sixth place. And how it works is when someone crosses the finish line, that starts the timer. So say, just to use an example, Chanigan crosses at the 55-minute mark. Anyone who crosses before 56 hits would also count as first place, and it goes like that for each of the timing buckets. Next person to cross at that point starts the second place box or bin, and then 2 minutes from that point until that one wraps up for the next person, etc. So, like, your time isn't just that you're trying to go fast. Your time is also that it's important that you're doing it in comparison to everyone else in tight groups. It's interesting because, like, you can see someone cross the finish line, but if you're still, like, if you're in the middle of fighting chaos, you're like, I can catch up to them, that's fine. I think that was a flame armor +5 there on the Cardia Isle.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
That's big. That's fine enough end game that, yeah, whatever, I'm good. Better than the dragon that they had. I think it was +1 that I think only Life Reboot found.
I believe it was an ice cave, so I think almost all of our runners have it.
Okay. I could have sworn I saw it in Volcano, but I will trust your judgment because 4 people to pay attention to.
So Life Reboot getting the ruby here. Hopefully not going to Sarda right away. If he can make that Ordeals play, convince himself to do it, get in the air, and then won't be too far behind. Might not feel behind, actually, given how many shards he got from that Volcano dive.
Block 2 +4 is huge. I think that's a Katana? 41, 44, 71? Wasn't a Masamune, because Masamune's
no, that lock, that second to last box is a Katana.
Well, I was looking at whatever one he went back for. It had like a 70 on crit.
Yeah,
so it's Katana.
Oh, there were 2 of them?
I think there were 2 of them.
That's funny.
Yeah, in the same treasury, because he went back and picked up a lock +2 or whatever the plus was.
Okay.
It's hard to see. Yeah.
Wild. And that's not a check that you should be taking.
No. I only check that one in a shard hunt thing if I'm already down there for like TNT or something.
Yeah, I did that check, and it definitely cost me the minute that I didn't need to waste.
I stupidly lost minutes in other ways that I just shouldn't have, so... Ooh, Ribbon. He's getting good gear for checking these chests that... I mean, obviously you're going to...
Oh, this one's incentivized.
That's the incentive Ribbon, but he's getting good gear for these checks, for doing these key locks.
With the spread on the gears, so the minus, I think it was 4 to 6 on this flag set, it's you're going to find good things regardless of where you go. So Earth is the play now. Everyone's going to be funneled in there, right? We have a rod. There's nothing else to do incentive. And we know that the waterfall has the loot, as I was reminded.
And we know, we already found the shop items. So everyone should be coming here. And looks like it led to, I was going to guess the chime anyway, but I see that Goats is already through it and has already found his chime. So that was pretty much, it was chime or Oxiel that had to be here. And with already having the cube, I was leaning towards chime.
So that's going to be Oxiel in Sky, meaning that the Vorpal is in Sea, so people could very well fade the Mermaid floor.
And today it's actually viable to do that because we don't have a bonus point for it.
It's going to be real
the
interesting
four-
to see how many shards people wind up with going into C, whether
Yeah.
or not they want to make the determination. Should I be going to Mermaids and Kraken, or do I want to gamble on Armory and Carry? Which Life Reboot doesn't have to, and may find it way easier in like 20 minutes to make that choice.
Yeah, no, and this is the thing is I've in some of the practices I did for these flag sets, it's often the choice came down to, do I go do Sky or Volcano? Do I go do Sea or Volcano? And for my brain not liking Sea, because Kraken and all the weird gross monsters that are in there that like are just worth enough that you kind of want to fight them, but at the same time they hit so hard you don't want to fight them. Like I will rake at endgame when I'm just looking for shards and trying to get through it. Sea last, but under Volcano, which I'll go to Sky first, but I will prefer Volcano over Sea every time.
I think if they wind up in the position where you have 6 or fewer shards, you just go Kraken side and you say, look, we've got the 2 in the hallway, we've got Sharknado, and Kraken's a guarantee.
Yeah.
And then C becomes the play over Volcano because you're not digging out as many boxes there.
Yeah.
And you're getting the experience for Chaos.
But the more shards that you're missing, the more I think Volcano weighs heavily. Like, if you're 10 shards away and it's your choice is Volcano or C, I'm going to go do Volcano.
I don't know that I'm feeling lucky enough to get 8 shards in boxes in Volcano. I can guarantee that I get 4 off Kraken. If we find any along the way, maybe it just becomes run straight to Carry instead of wasting our time in the Armory.
Sure. But I think where my head is at that point is, because we were talking about it, at that point I'm sitting there going, okay, I've got Elf Castle, I've got Astos' Closet, I've got the Dwarves, I've got the 2 Topher checks there. If I'm in the area and I'm looking for my end game, that's enough chests on top of Volcano that I feel like I can skip C.
Okay. I'm curious how it's going to play out tonight. Because right now, our runners have very few shards.
I don't know how many Life Reboot has. He's almost to 2 full rows. So 11?
Life has 11. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 of which came from Carry, so he's found 9. He is behind, but only because he went to Volcano before everything else and then did some other checks that I think was playing catch-up for. So it's going to be... Everyone else is kind of tightly clustered in their actions right now, so it's going to be interesting to see where Life Reboot is at when he actually catches up to what they're doing. If he catches... Because the Volcano play, he may not ever come to parity with them on checks.
Right.
And Floater's an advantage, because you don't get the fights on the sea at that point. But because of Speedboat, it's not as big of an advantage. There's a bit of a balance there.
Right. I think the biggest thing for not having the Floater at this point is that didn't go into Earth, didn't know that Mirage is now open, not getting those free shards off of Lich. So hopefully finding that sequence pretty quickly from here.
Here is a question for you. I know the map decently well, but I still sometimes go the wrong direction. I've always thought that if, say, like he did, you got Floater over here on this side of the world, and you have a choice between right or left to get to the Float Desert from, that, where he was at over by Dwarf. He went into the Inner Sea to go to the river system. I always thought it was faster to go underneath Earth Cave and over to Crescent Lake from the other direction.
Depends on the encounters, I think. Yeah, if I have a really long run, I might do what he just did.
Okay.
It's very tight at that point. I don't honestly know the difference there, but Rivers sounds to me like the slightly closer option.
I think that was another shard there. It was hard for me to see. So I think that says 3 shards on this floor alone for Chanigan.
Yeah, Sky provides, right?
Always provides.
Mirage just has so much. I wouldn't be shocked if we find a ribbon and 2 shards in this floor.
Right.
Because it just always does happen.
It does. Yeah, I love the top floor, not top, but Sky 3, because there's just always a bountiful wealth of chests in that area that just have what you want. So, you almost never leave Sky 3 going, man, I didn't get anything.
Yeah, right? Chanigan and Goats high-fiving on their way through Mirage.
No clue what that was that Chanigan got, or that.
Gold.
Blurry letters. Okay, good. You can see it. I
Ice
can't.
shield.
Oh,
Gold. Opal
the
bracelet. There it is. Bonus
Well, you know,
points.
Yeah, you don't get any more for finding all 4, but you do get props. So
Okay, so it was 2 shards.
Flag.
2 shards and an opal, not 2 shards and a ribbon. My apologies to everyone. Mirage 2 has everything, every time. And nobody wants that opal ring.
No,
That's wild.
Weird. Well, it's not required.
No, but you still want it. Like, I imagine that we're going to be giving a ribbon to the thief and to the knight, ultimately, by the end of this.
Knight looks like he's, if the colors are right, looks like he's swinging a sun sword.
I think it's defense, actually.
Is it defense? Okay, it was reddish.
It was Fighter Ninja red usable.
Okay.
Yeah, I suppose they have enough other gear for their
Yeah.
their alternate characters.
Yeah, they're fine. He can start skipping stuff. No reason to be a loot goblin, even though it's so much fun in this flag set.
Well, you can't skip things because you need the shards. Oftentimes, I find myself playing through this flag set,
stop to grab them.
and I just start. I do the loot goblin thing. So we found the Oxyel. That's wonderful. I do the loot goblin thing, and then I find a shard. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is a shard hunt. It's like I forgot why I was looking at the boxes.
Just so long as you're not emptying your inventory every time to grab everything that you only questionably need. It's just the shards now. We're on. I'm pretty sure Chanigan's just on shard and go.
He's trying to be.
Yeah.
Phoenix, I have to acknowledge you. I don't want to acknowledge you, but I see the joke. For those of you that aren't getting the text because you're watching this on replay, he said he won't be ribbing me about the bad call. Emphasis on the RIBBON.
Yeah, that pained me.
Goats with the Oxyel now. Really hand in hand.
They are. They're following each other pretty closely. And being shard and go at the 40-minute mark is quite nice.
I think both of them feel a little bit behind because even though they're in shard and go mode, they don't have a lot of shards. And it feels like by 40 minutes, maybe we should. But there are still 10 on Fiends that we know about and that we now have access to.
So Chanigan did all of Sky 2, and it looks like Goats walked past some of it. There's our Mazamoon.
Ooh, and he had a space in his inventory for that, or did he just drop something?
Well, he had to have dropped at least one thing. Otherwise, it wouldn't open for him.
That's my question. Did he intend to take this war mech, or was he caught off guard because he didn't have a full inventory?
Well, he didn't run. So
I don't know that I would have realized that I could run. Yeah.
Oh, I always realize I can run. Ooh, good damage there, and an ink from Warmech. That's nice to see. We did also know that a Blaze is out of the pool. I don't want to see an Ice 2 out of the pool. I want to see that on Chaos. Well, pretty much endgame levels there. That's nice. And that was that CC's Gambit? That was CC's Gambit.
That is CC's Gambit, yes.
Yeah. One of the few areas of the game that we actually have special names.
I'm sure we can come up with a name for all of it if we wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we could, but, like, playing with the LADX runners for that tournament that we just did in Archipelago, I have to force myself to say it right. They have every single chest named, and they know where all those names apply and everything, and we're sitting there going, okay, my item's in Earth 22. Where's Earth 22?
Yes, I love playing on AP and having the map of maps all up on the screen with all the numbers.
Just scrolling past on the side while my character's running. I'm like, where is this chest I'm looking for? So yeah, but no, the 4 chests there, I don't know what their numbers are, but it's at least CC's Gambit. If we actually named everything, all 4 of those would be like CC 1 through 4 or something.
I think at that point you're checking all of them. You can just walk.
Oh yeah, no, I know. But I'm just like, they'd all just be numbered because you're just like, I'm going in for one of these, I'm just going to check all 4. I don't need to memorize which one it is, but they'd all just be CC 1 through 4 because that's the room. Which is the difference between us and other games where all of our chests are generally clumped together. So
Chanigan's War Mech not going as smoothly as
all 4
Goats
numbers
did,
up, though.
but it is down.
Yeah, similar levels. He did lose a little time on that, but that's the hold sword is the Maza. Do not forget that's the Maza. Make sure you equip that. I speak from experience, having thrown away more than my fair share of katanas in this flag set. It's a Fire 2 sword. Why would I need a Fire 2 sword?
And it's always a Fire 2 sword. What is that? It just starts in your inventory, and you're like, I should have checked this from the beginning. Or I think there was a lit 2 the other night.
I realized it was a katana, but then my brain forgot when I was like, oh, Fire 2, whatever, and chucked it out the window. That was smart.
Happens to the best of us.
I know.
Happens more to the worst of us, but it does happen to the best of us.
Well, his lock sword is a katana, so he would keep that even if he was clearing out just random spells. That one I would keep. But the hold Maza, make sure you equip that, because that's too good not to throw away.
Yeah. I'm not convinced that he even did it for the Maza. That's just sort of like a perk. You want the War Mech XP, Experience. It's the quickest way to get up here.
Mm-hmm. 20 grand quick dump, that's 3 or 4 levels easy. You totally take that.
So Tia's down for goats. Didn't catch how many shards he currently has, but he is 100% going to Sea Shrine now.
Proximity, and he doesn't want to do Volcano. Most people don't want to do Volcano, I get that.
I don't know that it's only proximity, right? Like, he just got the Oxiel, so that's on his mind. Even if he did want to convince himself Volcano, he might not.
True.
Restocking those heal potions.
3 rows, it looks like, so 18.
Life reboot with 12. Didn't catch how many Osloto has, but we'll look at that when he pauses next.
Well, if Goats is at 18 and he and Chanigan have gone to pretty much the same places, I'm sure Chanigan's at 18 as soon as he kills Tiamat then. There's, Chanigan's done some checks, around the world that Goats has, but as far as Chester's concerned, they've pretty much been at parity.
It looks like 16 for Chanigan.
Oh, okay. It could be.
Oh, am I off by a row? Was it 22?
We might both be. I don't know. Again, it's blurry on my side, so I'm just going best guess here. I thought it was 3 rows. Maybe it was 4. Life Reboot gets his Lich kill, 2 more there, plus the cleared out Earth Cave. So it looks like he's still looking for key. That was... I can't remember where that was. I'm sure it's in the notes. Nope, not in the notes. Okay. And I get a waterfall.
Yeah, now we've got literally everything. There we go. It's just walk through the game. So now we're in that position, right? 22 or 20-ish shards, but they're right here. I mean, they're going to go into sea. Do they check Mermaid? Do they want that? And I don't think the answer is going to be yes on the first dive. I think they're going to go crack inside first regardless, but are they going to go back into Mermaids is a question that I have. Because as a runner, I wouldn't know if I want to or not.
No bonus points for carbonating bubbles, so.
But you still have... How many boxes are actually down there? Something like 14, 16?
In sea?
Yeah, in Mermaids specifically.
Oh, 3, 6, 7...
Yeah, it's the right side that gets me too. I think there's like 7 there. Yeah, so 14 sounds right.
Yeah. Could be 14. Let's just go with 14.
Sure.
Yeah.
And at that point, now that I said that out loud, it sounds like Armory might actually be the play.
The better play? Yeah, depending.
If you're going to have to check boxes, Armory might be that better play. Plus, you're already going to be at the inner sea to get to Toph.
It depends on how many shards they have in their pocket right now. Which you have a better view of than I do. Kickstick looks like he is, because he's gone this direction. He's definitely going for Mermaid side. May not check all the boxes on the way, because that's a lot of walking, but Could possibly do the couple greets that are on the way to Merms.
You're going to see TFC?
No, just the greets. I agree with this greed check, especially even before he got the shard. Oh, this is a long walk for an extra greed. I wouldn't have done this one.
See, now TFC is back on the table.
Now it is on the table, and he got a heal. See, don't do that chest. That's what I was saying.
Confirmation bias.
Absolutely, 100%.
Ugh, agreed with one of them. Hilarious. The puns, they just keep rolling in.
Yay. Okay, one. Oh, ribbon. That's a nice ribbon.
That feels so bad, because that vindicates you on going to Mermaids, even if it wasn't the play.
I know. I agree. Okay, so that's 18 plus 3, that's 21.
See, you could do math on Twitch, too.
Basic arithmetic. So it's 3 chests plus... We know the 3 here for 6, and the 1 over there, that's 7.
Then there's 2 in bubbles. And then there's 3 around. I think 13 sounds about... 12 or 13 sounds right now.
Okay.
Ooh, is that the Vorpal? Yep.
Might be the...
Yep, it is.
Oh yeah, because that's the incentivized chest, so it has to be the Vorpal.
It's not a bad Vorpal.
Huh?
But you have... Oh, you have the Masa, but that crit rate... Super high on a Vorpal.
What was the number?
57.
Man, it's nice.
It's no katana, but...
It's no katana, not in this scene. That katana is, like, hideous. It's great. It's a good hideous.
That's what all my girlfriends used to say about me, too. 2 ribbons in Mermaids, my goodness. That is...
And the
such
purple.
the play.
You feel like you did the right thing at this point, I guess.
Definitely feel like it could have gone worse, and you're happy with the results either way. Because when you get to Topher, if that winds up being a really, really nasty one, you're really, really lucky. And if it winds up being a very lightweight, just pick 2 fiends and chaos hits like a wimp, unfortunate.
There goes that advantage for life reboot. Brought Brack's sword in here if you want to take it.
They've got katanas and masas. I don't think they're bracking Kraken at this point.
I know. I'm still saying, if he got it first turn, it's faster than anything else that he could be doing. Just my only argument. Now, whether or not he actually decides to do it, and he's at 19 shards right now, life reboot.
The rest of the stream is just us counting numbers and people not knowing why. We have another Warmech.
Every once in a while I'll laugh with, like, the count, don't worry. Oh yeah, everyone's taking this Warmech.
I mean, it typically is I guess what I would describe it as is a loot pinata here.
Mm-hmm.
You have so much XP and then you also get the Masa for free. Asterisk.
I didn't take a single chest Warmech in the entire time I played these flags. I did try to take one that I got on the Bridge of Destiny, and then it nearly killed me, and then showed up again to try and kill me again. But the ones from boxes I didn't take, because I was like, my inventory's full, I don't even want to check. No.
That red wizard with the wielding a katana.
Mm-hmm.
Solo XP on that Warmech. So you've got that situation that you were describing before about, like, well, you got a red mage melee carry, but I don't know that you're going to get enough swings on that sword. Let's see what fast does.
Which is wise. And then fast. And a saber. Sleep bounces off.
Come on, 6 hits, 30 damage.
Continuing the saber.
No, I don't want that, really.
And 7 hits, 600 damage.
Close enough. So that would have been an 8 hit, right? Alright, an 8 hitting red mage isn't the worst thing. That was a very thick TO1. So based on the boss distribution, I didn't notice the other fiends having been really outrageous. So I don't know where that's really going to place our Fiend 2 fights. Usually if you see a lot of the bulkier bosses early on, you know that the late game bosses are going to be kind of cake. But they all seemed very distributed around the median here.
Yeah.
So Chanagan finding his ribbons. Life Reboot getting the info about the Masa, but not really. Doesn't have the chest info on. Doesn't know that that's a Masa necessarily. Just knows he can't wield it and doesn't want to hold sword.
Some people don't like to play with the chest info, and that is fair.
I do understand the visual clutter aspect of it. It feels like way too much of an advantage to know what's going on inside the chest that it almost doesn't feel like it's right being a fun % flag. I understand that the reason is to allow runners to make that choice, but it feels like kneecapping yourself a bit.
I feel like it's essential in this specific flag set because you don't know what the weapons are supposed to be. Like some flag sets, you're like, I don't need to have the visual clutter because I don't really care what the plus or minus means on a sword that I've picked up. But like for here, where you're not even sure that the sword you've picked up might be a katana or just a saber, like it does feel like an essential bit of information you're kind of not getting. Does find a different warp mech though, decides to take this one instead. Yeah, took a lot of damage, has to do some quick healing from that. Warmech came to play.
So is Goat stocking up now because he's got his 32, or making the check for Canaria? Hasn't done that yet. Going to find the third ribbon. Making that Aegis Shield a moot point with 3 ribbons. Oh, doesn't want it.
Like a cow says, the point is moo.
Man, I wasn't prepared for this type of dialogue tonight.
I'm so sorry. I can't help it. I've seen enough memes of that. It's stuck in my head. I don't care about friends. I just know the meme. So
it's so sad. I think the phrasing of what a moot point is really leaving the earlier generations.
Oh,
even within 10 years of me, they don't know what a moot point is.
I say it because it's funny, but like, yeah.
Understood. It looks like Osloto has his 3 rings now, and Goats skipped on the katana.
Is this a better joke for you? 3 rings to rule them all? Okay, apparently not.
I'll take it because it exists.
Crowd.
Could you imagine doing an entire routine with just one person in the audience?
That's Shoom Bobby right there. Okay.
All right, so Chanagan, having gone into Volcano, just wants 2 shards. Is literally not looking anywhere else.
Just give me my shards already.
Wasn't even paying attention to his screen, and he's halfway down Agama floor, and like, okay, I guess that's a thing. Goat's trying to get those shards via some cheeky checks. Being informed Osloto needs 8. And Life Reboot about to pick up the loot and be in his go mode.
Good for him. Hopefully he has the levels.
Life Reboot is always more than prepared anytime I've ever seen him play. It's just going to be a matter of getting to the end now. So Chanagan on the way to Topher. Goat's Pirate making the chest checks, which I think do pay off in this case. But if you only need 2 shards, I think you just skip the chest and go straight to carry.
Yeah, if it's just the 2 shards, it's what I would do.
This is a short
the lava
Topher.
walk's quick. Yeah. Lava walk is fast. You just go.
Goat still needed 5. Okay. So yeah, this is a short Topher. So Chanagan's going to pick a side, bump into either a speed bump or a roadblock, and then reset. And then we'll see what's behind door number 2. So we've got Lich, 5 hits, 378. That's upsetting how easy that was, because that does not bode well for the other fiends. Tiamat, not as easy. Little punchy.
Little punchy, little crunchy.
Doesn't seem to be crunching very hard. That was 9 hits, 441. Oh, not a lot of health. That's 1,000 health on the Tia.
Right side was the play.
That's wild. Yeah, that was fewer health than Tia 1 had. Goats now, right on Chanagan's heels. This is going to look like a double bin 1 finish if the left side is as kind to Goats as the right side was to Chanagan. Getting the locks out, getting the tempers out, getting the saber. Hitting the fighter. Not curing the fighter up. Curious about that. I guess we're just... Oh, speed and power, because 1879 is enough to take down a Chaos soon. And there it is. Terminated. So first on stream, Chanagan with a time of 58.28. And that puts him in... Oh, it's going to look like bin 2.
Second bucket. Yep, second bucket. Because Woo Bear, or Adam Roop at 56.21 and Woo Bear at 56.34. Only 13 seconds behind, so well within that first bucket of a minute. Definitely does get their first place finishes for 10 points each. Chanagan getting 8 points on the second place bucket, starting that one off. And did I hear them come in?
Hello.
I guess you did.
GG's.
Thank you.
So, what'd you think? You made some interesting plays there.
Floater, oops. Let's start with that. And where were the shards? Oh my god.
Late shards here.
Yeah. First time I had to do Volcano to get them.
Yeah, so speak to me about the let's never do Inner Sea right to Ice Cave.
I don't know. Let's say that. Oh boy.
That sounds reasonable to me, sure. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Seed Field, okay. I had Katanas for a day with Dwarf Cave. Got a cheeky Masa just for fun.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure he doesn't want the sword. He's just doing this.
I just want the levels.
Yeah.
So Chaos did have Nuke, took down most of Goat's Pirate, but Goat's Pirate does finish with an official time of 1 hour, 0 minutes, and 1 second. And that is good enough to be in the same bucket as Chanagan.
Yes.
So that is within 2 minutes of his finish.
Sonnyrath come in at 59.44, who pinged me while I was commentary. Hi, Sonnyrath. And he wanted to check and see what bucket he was in, because I'm not going to blame him. You've just gotten off a race. Math is hard. So he's in 4th place, 2nd bucket. Goat's Pirate comes in with 17 seconds to spare. He is also in 2nd bucket.
And then the future hasn't happened yet, so we're not going to spoil anything.
We're not going to say anything. Nope, we don't know what happened. We swear. Nope.
I don't see Goats in the waiting room just yet, but if you would like to join us, more than welcome to. But in the meantime, we still have 2 runners on screen. Right, we've got Life Reboot taking Kraken 1 now. And as Lodo, is that straight to Topher? We good to go? Seems like it. There we are, 32 shards. Doing some inventory management. Menuing is so brutal in this flag set. just very much a place of time waste.
Yeah, there's a lot of information you have to take in. I try to go to not go into my inventory too much, just because there's so much information.
Oh yes, for anyone watching who is in the league and may have finished and is now watching while they wait for their time to finish, make sure that you tell me if you've found all 3 of the bracelets. Opal not required, but funny.
Sure did.
Yes, I believe we've seen all of our on-stream runners.
I believe so, yeah. I think it's funny we didn't include the opal for reasons, and then everyone found it, so...
I mean, when you open 170 boxes...
Yeah, well, we didn't want to make people have to go digging for it, you know? We wanted these bonus points to be a bonus and not a chore.
Chore you did. See, I can do it too.
Oh, dang it. Oh.
Where's Phoenix when we need him?
Oh, he's been all over this chat. So
He's here.
I know you've been playing,
Okay.
but I've been dealing with Phoenix and Darkmoon the whole time.
Like in our Discord discussion, Sierra says got all 3 bracelets, left Opal to rot because it was junk.
Not gonna lie, it was junk.
It was
30
junk.
absorb, minus 5 evade. All right.
Just funny. Just nice and funny right there. That was good.
I wonder where ADR and Woobear got their 2 minutes from the rest of us.
I mean, if you had gone down to our deals immediately, I think that, that you
that's a 2
take
minutes.
this at 53 minutes finish.
Yeah.
Looks like Life Reboot was still missing a shard because he dug dwarfs until he got one and then bounced. So
Did he find the katana? I guess not if you bounce right away.
no, he opened 2 chests and didn't see either of the 2 katanas that were hanging out. That was a crazy treasury.
Asloto chose the right side, which apparently this time was the right side.
The right side. Oh, Life Reboot went to the left side. We're getting to see how bad this one is.
I believe we saw Goats
I was
take the
doing
left side.
scorekeeping. Carry not hitting for much.
Yeah, it wasn't too wild.
No.
But Chaos has nuke. I don't think, Chanigan, you saw that. So we'll see how fortunate Asloto is here.
Huge damage against Carry. Carry was a pushover. I mean, anything's a pushover when you're doing 1800 damage to them, so. Here's the Kraken. Well,
I don't know why
was
people go left side. Right side is always the
left
best side.
Honestly, it's because of how I hold my controller, and it's just easier to press left.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Left up for Sky, left side for Short Topher. It's just what I do.
Interestingly, Sky, I go up and to the right because when I was like, I don't know, 5, that was kind of how I learned to do it in Nintendo Power because it didn't have like the whole screen wrapping thing. So I was like, all right, it's just right and up.
That's fair. That's fair. I understand muscle memory. It's just you save a tile when you go left, and you're already pushing up if you go left up. So.
Oh well, now that you've told me I save a tile, I might start going left.
You save it. You save one whole tile.
Mm-hmm.
Asloto finishing Chaos off with an official race time GG time of 105.30. Wow, that was really close on the timer.
Yep, that catches us up on a bunch of people. Goats Pirate we already established was in the second bucket. Third bucket has Cyranus at 103.44. And then Osloto, as you point out, 105.30, and we may have some other people in there. We don't know yet. As far
that
as
extends until
concerned.
107.44. So as long as Life Reboot gets in under that, he too will be sharing third place points. We got some heal pot strats.
Already getting big damage. Was that an even 1,000?
It looked like 1,300.
Okay, I saw the zeros. I thought it was an even 1,000. I'm like, ooh, that's the odds of that. You would know the odds of that.
I'm not getting into that. Actually, Province Stats is not my strong suit.
Looked like 888 to me there, but
Wow, very lucky. Yes, it was.
Oh, hey, look at that. That's over 2,100 damage so far. Chaos has got to die. There you go.
And there we go. Life Reboot with a 106.52 gets in to bin number 3. Or bucket
And
3,
then-
as we were calling it.
At this point, with the race being officially over 10 minutes ago, we can start covering everything else. Life Reboot, as you said, and then finishing out that bucket was 107.03 from Burt Reynolds, who squeaked in just under the wire with about 30 seconds to spare. And Danny comes in the fourth bucket, to herself very comfortably, 109.57.
GG.
Yeah,
GG's
good game to
everyone
all the
who ranked.
runners.
Yes.
Very consistent times. I see Life Reboot in the waiting room, so I'm going to drag him on down here.
Please do.
And we are joined now with Life Reboot. Welcome. Good game.
GG.
Hello, thank you.
GG.
How'd you feel?
You know, I entered Sea Shrine needing 5 shards. I emptied the entire left side, Kraken side. Didn't find a single shard. It was so frustrating.
Yep.
They were all on
it
Mermaid
was so
side.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Besides
was,
that,
what, two-
it felt fine. I enjoy these flags.
These are fun flags. Shum and I were talking about that when it started up. They're enjoyable flags, just kind of for their goofiness.
I do have a question for you, though. Do you mean to play this particular flag set with the chest info off?
Yeah, I know that that's helpful, but the stat vomit that comes out of every chest is like too much for me. My brain can't see what the item is.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
I mash through all of it, so yes, it is intentional. I know it's a little bit of a handicap, but I don't like that chest info flag at all. I think I should remove it.
We should probably talk to one of the developers about making it a little bit more readable.
Wouldn't know any of them, would we?
No,
Haven't a clue.
haven't seen them.
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't really have much to ask or to say otherwise, because this was a very well-run race by everyone. Very little divergence. Life Reboot did decide to go into Volcano early, so got some earlier shards. I actually thought that was going to give you a little bit more of an edge towards the end game, because everybody was struggling with where they all were.
And I found the X file, which my red mage could have.
Saw that. I thought you were swinging that.
Right, you got some good gear out of that whole thing, so it definitely kept you much closer than it otherwise would have for being as late to the floater as it felt you might have been. But at 35 minutes, you still had much more time to spare.
Mm-hmm.
Was anyone else on stream on the same encounter table that got Warmech on the Bridge of Destiny, or just me?
I don't remember. Everyone else fought Warmech at Mazamoon Chest, which you
I
didn't
believe
see.
us Lodo did get a Warmech on the bridge.
Okay, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, mine was the Masa one.
Yeah, I remember you took it purposely for that, and then
And Goats took
did
it on
both-
purpose. Yeah.
on purpose, both for the Maza and the Warmech.
Gotcha, thank you.
It was the hold sword in TC's Gambit.
Sky. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's what prompted me to ask you that question about the chest info, because it was like, oh, we could have known that, even if you didn't want a Masa, that would have been some XP. So I was curious if that was a deliberate choice.
Right.
yeah, there was
Yeah.
questioning about you going to Volcano early in the game, but you got good gear. I mean, there was plenty of good gear in that armory. That was a lovely armory.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, if I'm in the vicinity and I have
Mhm.
the canoe, and it's like I don't totally feel comfortable going to ice quite yet. I mean, save on game over is gonna save me anyway. I don't know why my mindset's still like
No, it's fair.
of those things, but it's just
Fair.
like, well, I'll get some levels and a bunch of gear and shards in Volcano.
I'll be honest with you, including the one I did this week, and I did 4 runs of this flag set. I forgot every time that save on game over was on. So
I think Fall League is really good at forcing you to break out of the habits that you have formed, because
Yes.
the choice of flags just really lend themselves to atypical play. And so you're
Mhm.
If you're wasting the brain space on thinking about what you're doing, now you're not executing as you would have normally liked to.
Mhm.
It just throws everything to heck, and now that's why I love Fall League. There's
League's
so much
fun.
fun to be had.
Yeah.
Fall League is a great one. Like every year as an admin, I can speak to this. Every year we're like, okay, what events do we want to do? Which ones are guaranteed? Which ones don't we want to do? But like at this point, I feel like Fall League and just its weird variants and all the fun that we can have with it, it's required playing. We can't not have Fall League because of just the fun we have. But-
So on that positive note, do you
Yeah.
want to maybe wrap it up and get some final thoughts on it?
Sure. We'll go with Chanigan first, who's in here with us and was first on stream. Chanigan, final thoughts.
Yeah, no, GG again, everyone that run. That was a great week one, I think, overall with for all teams. A bit scared of week two. I did one practice and it was awful. But yeah, it's still fun. Thank you guys for commentating, restreaming, everything. Thank you RPG Limit Break again for lending us their channel. And yeah, that was fun. I'm still hyped for the rest of the tournament. Gotta defend our crown.
And then Life Reboot. Final thoughts.
GG to all the racers. Just on a personal note, I'm very excited to be back in the races again. I've sort of been away from FFR for a while, so this is a nice way for me to kick back into it. I'm excited to be on the dev team for, I think, the third year in a row now.
Third year in
It's
a row.
pretty exciting.
Yeah. It's good to have you back. I will let Shun Bobby take us home in just a second, but I want to thank everyone here, the people watching, RPG Limit Break, of course, our entire crew helping to put this on, Kumo, our restreamer, Dusk Plume, and Papa Dukes, here doing the tracking for us, of course, Shun Bobby as well on comms with me. If you're interested in more FFR action, we do have, of course, the continuing of Fall League for the next 3 weeks, through the main part of it before semis and finals takes over. Our schedule is pretty much set at this point. It is set. I don't know why I said pretty much. Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, you're going to see games. You're going to see them on various channels. Check in at the FFR Discord if you want to get the exact times. But we will have the next one is tomorrow. That's the start of the Proc Gen with Dragon Warrior mode is going to be on Speed Gaming, one of their channels, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So stick tuned for that. Yeah, if you like Final Fantasy Randomizer, like what you saw here, want to see more, come to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. You can also go to ffrando.com, and it will take you directly to it. There you can find links to the Discord, the development Discord, the randomizer itself, links to the wiki, and everything else you need to get into the game and get started playing. I am done speaking at this point. Shun Bobby, why don't you take us home?
All right, so Darkmoon, thank you for covering all the logistics on that. Good game to all of our runners on stream and off, and thank you again to the race crew. So Darkmoon co-comming with me, Kumo for the restream, Duskplume, and Papa Dukes for doing the tracking tonight. Thank you to all the viewers and RPG Limit Break for having us here. And just to echo the sentiment that's been going around, looking very forward to Fall League as we keep this going, and hope to see everybody around. Have a good night.